Hi crafters, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and I have some more stencil goodness to share with you, so let's jump right in. Now this is the new S'mores stencil and the S'mores stamp from A Colorful Life Designs. These are part of the September release, and you can use my coupon AmyFan10. If you apply it at checkout, you'll receive 10% on your complete order. So here's a photo of the finished card to show you the direction that we're headed, but I did have quite a few hiccups along the way, but I am going to keep my mistakes in here so that you can learn from them. So to start right off the bat, I'm masking off the top graham cracker portion, and you can see the tape that I put over was actually the little divots or the little holes that you would find in the top of a graham cracker. And I want this layer to be relatively light, so I'm just using residual ink from my brown blending brush to start. Now, I'm not sure what I was thinking. I kind of just started, top and bottom of the graham cracker, let's start there. And I was masking off the other layers as I went, not thinking at all that s'mores usually aren't triple-decker s'mores. They're usually kind of compact in terms of height, so I really don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh, well, this is easy. You can just kind of mask off the different, layers as you work down the design. And yeah, it ended up looking more like a tiramisu, which I guess is an added benefit to the versatility of the stencil. You could make it look like a tiramisu. Maybe there's a funny pun you could throw in there in terms of a sentiment, but yeah, not how it was intended. So this is my main mistake here, a litany of many. But basically, yeah, it's not intended to be this spaced out. So don't be like me. I did line up this second layer rather, right underneath. It nestles underneath the graham cracker top, and this I knew at least was supposed to be chocolate. So I'm going to come in with a dark brown color. I have all these gorgeous neutrals now in the mini ink pads from Catherine Pooler. Those were just kind of recently released in the mini ink pad format. But I have this first layer of chocolate, and as you'll see, I end up making it a double or triple decker, I don't know, but again, not how the stencil is intended. You will see as I work through this design, I will show you the correct way for the finished card, but basically I'm going rogue here. I'm just making 3 levels of chocolate or whatever and 2 layers of s'mores, which would be delicious, but they're kind of hard enough to eat on their own, so I can't imagine how this would work if you try and stack up multiple marshmallows into a s'mores. But anyway, this is what I did, and don't be like me unless you want a tiramisu. I'm coming in with this other layer of chocolate and this really dark, rich brown color, and I think at this point is when I realized, yeah, that's not right. So I'm going to set that aside and start over again, and I'll show you the correct way to do this. Now, when I started doing it correctly, I realized how perfectly all the layers lined up right next to each other, just as Mary Kay at the shop intended. So I think I ended up actually having to go back and look at samples from my other design team members to make sure that I was doing it correctly, because I don't know how I messed this up so badly. But getting ink all over the place, which you'll see will soon transfer to inky fingerprints all over my project, because that's the sort of day I was having. I'm not sure where my brain was, but came back in, top layer of graham cracker and the cute little divots. Now I'm lining up the chocolate again, and I'm not trying to go the full length of the stencil here this time. Just masking off the openings easily with this 2-inch post-it tape, coming in again with the dark brown color. Just to fill in the chocolate layer. And then now, after my fingerprint, I realize, look how perfectly that lines up. See, it goes right along the bottom edge of the chocolate, and then you have your marshmallow layer. So again, Mary Kay thought of it all. I just wasn't paying attention. So now I'm thinking how I'm gonna make this look like marshmallow, because marshmallow obviously is bright white, but I need to show these cool little, gooey edges on the marshmallow. So what I decided to do is just rub off some residual ink and try and go super light-handed, because I just barely want to show the edge of this opening before I come down to the final graham cracker layer here. So again, I'm going to do some final masking, and then I'm going to do the bottom graham cracker with a little bit of a medium brown color, and then the contrast of the kind of creamy white will still read as a marshmallow. It'll just look like a little bit of a brown toasty marshmallow. So here I'm Hot Mess Express and getting fingerprints all over the place. Guys, I was such a train wreck making this card. I don't know what was wrong with me. But anyway, sand eraser to the rescue. Got rid of that. And then now I'm going to come in and bring a little bit of color. I have my teal blending brush, and I'm just using some teal residual ink and kind of coming in like a vignette around the corners on this panel, just to kind of give it some visual interest. And then I'm going to come in with an older stencil from the shop called Falling Sticks. This will be linked as well below, but it's basically an older stencil from the shop, and I thought it was kind of a cool design to give some visual interest around the edge of the card and give it a chance to add some color. And again, more fingerprints, because you can see I'm still riding the struggle bus today. So I'm going to erase that with my sand eraser, and then I'm going to bust out this adorable actually, I'm going to die cut it first because I want to make it smaller than A2 size. This is a stitched edge rectangle die, one of my absolute favorites. It's from a company called LDRS Creative, which is a small woman-owned business in Michigan. And I ran this through off screen through my die cutting machine to give it this cool finished stitched edge, and I'm still got ink all over my fingers. And now I have my mini Misty here, and I'm going to bust out this super cute punny stamp set called S'mores. And because I did kind of a weird composition, I'm actually going to take advantage of all this open space and use 2 of these adorable stamps. So I have the first one in the top right corner, and I'm going to condition the stamp with my finger. If you've ever worked with new photopolymer stamps, then you know you kind of have to season them or condition them. The way I like to do it usually is just by running my finger over it a few times. It basically just gets rid of some manufacturer's goo on the top of the stamp that's going to make it kind of not stamp very well. You might see that your ink pools up a little bit. That's probably because you haven't conditioned the stamp. So you can do it with your finger. You can stamp it a couple times to condition it on some scrap paper, or use a clear embossing ink, or you can even use an eraser just to kind of get that gunk off of there. Now this is from a company called Doodle's Paper Playground that sadly is no more. She has gone out of business, but she had the most adorable blingage sets here, which are great for shakers. And this is actually a s'mores themed one. So there's even little like marshmallow polymer clay chips in there. So I might come back with this and these sentiments and make a cute little shaker with the rest of these cute little sequins and such. But that's going to finish my card. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for bearing with my mistakes. I hope it makes it easier for you if you get this fabulous stencil and stamp. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.